Do you remember that moment you were first introduced to a game that completely opened your eyes and consumed you? A title or genre that excited you so much, it took over every waking minute. And when you couldn't play it, you were either researching or talking about it with all of your friends. As you grow older, you tried to chase those intense feelings that game gave to you. It was like a digital crack or something. This is called the Virgin Effect, and in today's video, I will be exploring how it happens to us and why we will forever chase it. We are all guilty of being that guy who will swear that a particular game of our youth was the greatest in existence, with nothing even coming close to it. This is that Virgin Effect. Well, it might turn out that you've been wearing rose-tinted glasses all along, and that nostalgia and good times you had has actually distorted your memory. A personal example that I would use is the Virgin Effect I had in World of Warcraft in 2004 when it first came out, when I logged in for the very first time. And no, I'm not talking about the Goldshire Inn on Argent Dawn server. For those of you that don't get the reference, feel free to Google it, but be warned, you might want to scrub your eyeballs afterwards. All right, so let's set the scene. It was 2004 and the MMORPG genre has evolved to God tier. It took us away from the browser-based RuneScape that had dominated up to that point and introduced us to something much more. PCs were getting better, and the gaming community began to connect and spread faster than the coronavirus. Over the years, I built relationships, and together we explored a brand new world that cemented those moments as some of the best days of our youth. As the years passed and the game changed drastically, so did my life. As we all get older, we get more responsibilities, and we begin to think about the good old days when our only concern was getting a full raid group that knew the tactics to the boss. Recently, Blizzard released World of Warcraft Classic, which was basically the original game in its entirety. It was almost perfectly recreated. It was something private servers had been trying to do for years. Not only did current WoW players flock to it to play it on launch day, but so did thousands of ex-players who wanted to recapture the experience they had over a decade previously. Overall, Classic was a huge success in reuniting old guilds and friends to play the old content. But for some, they came back to a game that was completely different from what they had remembered. Whether it was the sizes of the locations, the difficulty of the gameplay, or the quality of the content overall. We continue playing the games that we did when we were young in the hopes of recreating those nostalgic feelings that came with them. It's a comfort mechanism we turn to, like how we watch movies and TV shows from our childhood. Every once in a while, we'll go back to those original games, and we're shocked to find out that the game was actually not that good, even though we swore that they were incredible. This is a phenomenon known as biased memory, where our brains alter recollection to make past events seem better than it was. Because in general, it was a time when you were super happy with very little to worry about. So when it comes to games, how do you know if it's biased memory that makes the game good, or if the game really is that good? Another common occurrence of the Virgin Effect is when you play a game from your past, thinking the mind-blowing graphics will still look as amazing as you remember. You then sit down, fire it up, and realize that Lara Croft's pointy boobs were about as sexy as Gruntilla in Banjo-Kazooie. This is because you had very little to compare it to when you first played it. As graphics got better over time, so did your opinion on what was the defining features of video game quality. Now that we are older, it's that bias memory that kicks in and scales the experience and graphics like it's our very own remastered copy. I've always longed to relive my experience of loading into World of Warcraft or discovering the mysterious and horrific flood in Halo CE for the first time. I've spent many years seeking out new MMORPGs or immersive sci-fi shooters to try and recreate that wonderful Virgin experience. But nothing can replace that first taste, that first experience. But alas, we try. We all try. When a brand new shiny MMO is announced, or the next Halo is released, or the new Zelda, we cannot contain our excitement. We flock to it. Yes, a big reason why is because we trust the company, the genre, the series, to deliver a great game. But you would be lying to yourself if you didn't admit that even just a small part of you was chasing that original, first feeling you had. And sometimes it's other people, maybe your friends, who influence a game or genre because they swear it was the greatest invention since the cheat cartridge. When you eventually play it, you are disappointed not to feel the same hype your friend did. This will either make you quit the game or continue to play it thinking that at some point you will feel the same as your friend did. Oftentimes, this will inevitably ruin the experience, even though it may have been a game that you would have enjoyed, but your expectations had been risen too high by the overhype. What's important is to enjoy every game with an open mind and hold the ones dear that spoke to you. Don't force your opinions on others, but in that same vein, don't be afraid to share your passion. Some games hold a special place in gamers' heart, whether they know it or not. If they played them now, it might not give them the same feelings, but might jolt a few nostalgic memories, making them feel good. So who cares if a game hasn't aged well, right? So the question you have to ask yourself is, was the game that provided those unforgettable feelings really that good? Or was it the happiness you felt during those simpler times that has contributed to the admiration we hold for them today? Were you victim of the Virgin effect? Or does that even matter? Over the course of this channel, I want to dig deeper into this Virgin effect and compare classic games with modern ones to see if they have stood the test of time on their own merit or merely earned legendary status for what they meant to us at the time. I also want to help you relive some of your Virgin experiences through me in my very first time playing said game. Are there any examples that stand out in your mind? Any games you would like to see me play or review? Maybe you have an example of a game that is just as good today as it was when it first released. Leave your suggestions in the comments below, and they might just make it into a future video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, you can go ahead and drop a like and hit the subscribe button to show the channel your support. And if you don't want to miss a future upload, then please ring the notification bell as well. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for daily updates, and I will be polling which game I will play next and first. Twitter.com/EvanDWoodruff. And on May 1st, I will stream all of this gameplay on Twitch at twitch.tv/VG_EvanD. Anyway, until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. And of course, happy gaming.